During our pilot episode of All Physical last week, we asked if it's something you'd like to see more of, and boy did you guys show it. You all had amazing feedback and the desire was unanimous. This is a series you want, because we all love physical. And so today we're taking a look at all the physical releases coming this week from September 24th until October the 1st. Whether they're Western retail games, Japanese exclusives, or those limited run type jobs, we've got them all here. Now, of course, I'm not expecting you guys to comment every episode to say that you want more, but really, we do want to see your support to make sure that this is what you want us to keep doing. If we get no comments, we take it as a sign that things are not that interesting for you guys. So in order to keep this a series, please be sure to leave a comment telling us what has taken your fancy this week, if anything at all. Or what are you currently playing in your backlog? What have you added to your collection? Let us know. Personally, I finally got my hands on the collection of mana, which was not easy for me to get a hold of here in China. So yeah, I'm happy about that. Honestly guys, you keep commenting and we will keep doing this. Alright, let's get on with it. Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition is making its way to the Nintendo Switch on the 26th of September. This Zelda-like is a well-loved entry in the series and is a warm-up for the new game Genesis, which is coming in December. If you're not familiar with the series, I suggest you head over to watch Juan's review of the original, which came out on the Switch not too long ago, and we'll try to get a review out for you guys in time for release, but we'll see. It's a busy time, guys. Dragon Quest XI's is perhaps the biggest game to grace the Nintendo Switch this week. One of Square Enix's flagship titles that has legendary status when it comes to being on a Nintendo console, we're getting the ultimate version of a critically acclaimed game. Many consider it to be the best in the series so far, although I'm sure a few of you would happily debate that. To see it back on Nintendo, and even better than it was originally on the PS4 with orchestrated music and the 2D visuals as a bonus, plus all sorts of other additions, this is a must-have for JRPG fans. There's a reason we put it at number 1 in our most hyped RPGs list not too long ago. Who's picking this up on the 27th? If you're still not sure, there is a massive demo to sample on the eShop right now. FIFA 20 is releasing on September 27th, and while I trumpeted the first 2 releases on the Nintendo Switch, it seems that the third time trying is where it falls apart and EA do what they do best and be lazy on a Nintendo system. This time we're getting the exact same game as last year, FIFA 19, but with updated team rosters. Oh, and they're charging full price for it. Thanks EA. And because EA have put me in a slightly bad mood right now, let's have an ad break. Thanks EA. Ninja Saviors is getting the physical treatment this week after already being released digitally in Europe, with the US to follow later. I'm led to believe the American physical release is due in October, but the European release is on the 27th of September. It's a remake of the classic Super Nintendo beat 'em up. Check out James's review to find out more. If you're out in America and feeling impatient, I'll pop some import links below as to where you can find it a little bit earlier. Teslagrad is a game that's been around the block a bit. This quirky little indie puzzle platformer is well loved and was released digitally on the Switch a good while ago. And considering it was also released physically on the Wii U, it was always going to get a physical release on the Switch at some point. It's definitely a lovely game, and the physical release won't set you back too much when it releases on the 27th. I do believe that later on there is going to be a collector's edition, oddly titled The Value Pack, which includes a steelbook, artbook, pin, and keychain. I believe this is available widely in Europe next month, but I think limited run games have their mitts on North American distribution for this one, including the standard edition. If you don't fancy waiting around, I'll pop links below as to where you can find a European import. Will, A Wonderful World will finally release in Europe on the 27th. It's already available in the US, I think, and has been for quite a while. Though this heads up was mainly for our European followers. It's a visual novel from PM Studios, one of the more popular ones out there for sure. Sniper Elite 3 is releasing physically on October the 1st. This popular stealthy shooter is following in the footsteps of the recent remaster of the second entry. We've already popped up a bit of gameplay footage for you on this very channel if you want to see how it runs in handheld mode. I'll give you a hint, it looks lovely. Who's going to be taking aim with this one? You know, a girl who chants love at the bound of this world. is a ridiculous title, which always gets me excited. I don't know much about this mature rated visual novel, but it's from Spike Chunsoft, so I have hopes that it might be pretty decent, at least for the genre. A remake of the Japanese PC classic, I'm sure this has got a certain subset of fans frothing at the mouth. Now, I should state that actually it's only releasing this week for North America on October the 1st, while Europe will have to wait a few days longer until October the 4th, which is technically into our next episode, so I'll be sure to give it a mention to make sure our European dudes don't forget about that next week. Okay, just like last week, there is room for uncertainty here, although not quite as extreme as P-Cube's placeholder piss take. This week, NIS America's beleaguered RPG maker Mviii, which was delayed indefinitely due to concerns about quality, European retailers seem convinced enough of a September 27th release. Both PlayAsia and Amazon UK agree on that date, but Amazon US is saying March 2020. So yeah, I'm leaning towards this earlier date being a placeholder, since NIS America have had very little to say on this game, and believe me, they love talking about their games. It's worth noting that actually this was released in Japan and Asia regions a long time ago with English already on the cartridge, so if you're curious about it, I'll pop an import link below, but I've not heard great things about it, to be honest. Okay, moving on to this week's games with low print runs. Fairy Fencer F Advent Dark Force is a game we missed last episode. After squeezing in Zeo Drifter, this one really was too late to sneak in. Limited Run Games opened pre-orders for this one, which was a digital-only release up till that point. If you remember back in our Best JRPGs list video, we called that Limited Run would probably pick this one up, and they did. So now is the time to get it physically. You still have a couple of weeks left to get your order in as of the time of production. Although it's worth noting that they are just handling distribution, it's not technically one of their numbered releases if you're one of those kind of collectors. Another one we missed last week that people wanted us to mention was Downwell from Special Reserve Games. Only 5,000 copies available, and you get a flip grip thing with it, which is nice. Okay, here's quite a big one. On September 25th, VBlank are doing their own low print run of their latest game, Shakedown Hawaii, a game we reviewed when it first came out. Check out that review. There's a collector's edition and a standard edition. If it's anything like their physical release of Retro City Rampage, this may fetch high prices in the future. Honestly, check up Retro City Rampage. It's probably the most expensive Switch game, maybe? Anyways, if you're interested, you'll have to head over to their website on September 25th, 10 AM Pacific Time, 1 PM Eastern Time, and 6 PM UK Time, September 25th. Okay, before we get into today's inputs, don't forget that we'll pop links in the description and pin comment as where you can purchase any of the games that we've mentioned here today. Affiliate links, so every purchase you make gives us about 5% of what you spend, which helps us out massively to keep producing and improving our content for you guys. We reinvest pretty much everything. We realize not all links will be ideal for your situation and may not offer you the best buying prospect, and that's fine. What's best for you first and foremost. But if you're going to buy it anyways, consider using those links below to support us. Okay, we're going to start off with a bit of a personal cheat because the first one isn't coming out this week. In fact, we have no idea when it's coming. It's only just recently been announced. But since Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game of all time, I honestly couldn't wait to tell you about this one. Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII are getting a physical double pack in Asia. And oh my god, take my entire wallet. This is what dreams are made of. Details are scarce, but we're pretty sure that English will be on the cartridge. We don't know if this is coming west or not, but when you look at Square's past history on the Switch, it's doubtful in my eyes, but it is possible. I've already got mine pre-ordered, and there is a link in the description and pinned comment as to where you can find yours too. Come on, go get it, guys. Okay, back on track to this week. Not much in terms of import friendliness, but actually quite a lot to have a quick gander at. Hakuoki Shinkai Gekikage no Shou, whatever, is another otome visual novel from Idea Factory. They pump out these so much they really do live up to their name, at least the factory side. It seems they've actually ran out of ideas for other genres, but what can I say? These definitely have their audience in Japan. No English, I assume, but perhaps Idea Factory will localize in the future. It's not unheard of. Just a heads up, if you do fancy plumping for an import, there's a standard edition, as well as a limited edition, which includes a booklet and a drama CD. The latest Atelier game is releasing physically on Japan on the 26th. There's no English for this release, but a Western localization has already been announced, so unless you're the most hardcore of fans, you'll probably want to wait a month or two until it arrives in Europe and America. There's a standard edition and a limited edition, which includes a small amount of DLC, art book, poster, a file, and a little charm thingamabob. I believe NIS America are handling the Western limited edition, which is slightly different from the Japanese one from what I can gather. Disaster Report 4 is releasing on the 26th, also in Japan, but again without English. But not to worry, as a Western localization has already been confirmed for some time next year by NIS America. I've got to admit, this has 100% got my attention. It's something very different gameplay wise, and I'm looking forward to it. But you're probably going to want to wait for the Western version, not the Japanese one, unless you can understand Japanese. Ninja Box is a new property from Bandai Namco. I think it's their take on the Minecraft Dragon Quest Builders formula. It looks pretty cool, although there is no English on the cartridge when it releases on the 26th. I am hopeful Bandai will localize this one in the future, but who knows. And there we have it, guys, all the physical games releasing this week that we know about. If we missed anything, be sure to let us know, as we want to be as definitive as possible. In the meantime, be sure to check out the last week's episode, as well as James's bargains video that we released on Sunday. I'll be back next week, Monday night or early Tuesday morning, depending on where you live in the world. So I'll see you guys next time. Take care.